you want. You say a woman is what you need. So I'ma let you have it. One thing I gotta see. Come real close, feel the beat now and dance with me. Show me what you got, 'cause there's only one chance with me. You only got one chance. You only got one chance with me. You only got one chance. You only got one chance with me. 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 Dance, work your body, work your body. Dance, only if you got it, only if you got it. Dance, work your body, work your body. Dance, only if you want it, only if you want it. Come real close, feel the beat now and dance with me. Show me what you got, 'cause there's only one chance with me.
Corporate, you wanna dance, we can make it happen. My heart will open up for the main attraction. I was told never put your eggs in one basket, but I'll drop everything just to get it cracking. One time for the DJ. This for girls who keep turning 25 on their B-day. I see you got the attention of every man, but I'll still be the one if you leave it up to chance.
Show me what you got, 'cause there's only one chance with me. You got more proving to do on the floor, so just dance with me. You only got one chance. You only got one chance with me. You only got one chance. You only got one chance with me. 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 You only got one chance with me.
Yes, that's the song, okay?
Yes.
Every time. Oh my God.
I was over here like,
Yes.
I don't have a
never
voice
gets
for
dry.
it.
I
Say it
promise
again.
you. That song for me never gets dry. It's like every time it comes on the car, I'm like, one chance. Listen, love it. Welcome, Mirror Talkers. Listen, welcome. I am so excited to have each and every one of you guys. Listen, each and every one of you guys.
Hey, Biba.
Hi. Listen, share, like. A share is free now. Share, like, subscribe to all the channels. I am so excited to have you here. Oh my gosh. Listen, I'm going to give y'all, like I say, to the 4-minute mark to get y'all hind tails up in here. Yes, come on. Hi, Biba. Is it Biba or Bibba?
Biba.
I was right the first time.
You were.
Biba, I love that name.
She's a wonderful person.
Oh, hi, Biba. Listen, hi, Preston, brother. Listen, share. You ever gotta like it? Share it. Just share it. Biba, thank you for tuning in. Oh my gosh. I know you're a wonderful person because my brother's around you. He don't be around anybody, okay?
No, she has an amazing platform as well.
Oh, wow. Really? Listen.
Yes.
Definitely drop your platform down. I want to shout you out for sure. Oh my gosh. I love that name, Biba. I really wonder what it means.
Her full name is 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝗪. Biba will have to tell you in the comments what exactly. I know she told me before, but I forgot.
Really? I love it. Listen. Hi, brother. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to have you guys on here. I'm so excited. It's beloved. Ooh.
And she is definitely that.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's the link, guys. Follow 𝗵𝗀, y'all. Tune in to her platform for sure. Listen, we at the 5-minute mark now. I'm so excited to have you guys on here. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every week. I mean, it's hard, okay, to tune in every week. I get it. But first and foremost, Christopher D. Weaver. Listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining my platform.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. Hi.
Childhood friend. We grew up down the road from each other in North Carolina.
Really?
Yes.
Listen, I'm so excited to have you guys in tuning in. Chris, thank you again for tuning in. I mean, you're amazing. I love it. I love all the conversations we have. It's always enlightful. I mean, I love it. It's always good. And so I'm just excited to dive into this topic, honey. Because listen. Some of y'all got to be honest with yourselves. We got some real triggers, okay? And we acting like, oh, nothing bothers me, or I've overcome it and I've moved on. But child, honey, child, boo, boo. The minute that one thing just hits it, we're going back to it. So what this topic is triggers. And listen, I love the way that Chris came up with this topic. I mean, it was something you came up on the fly, right? Like we was just talking about like just triggers, and I'm like, how'd you come up with this? It just came, like literally came, and it's pulling the trigger on your triggers. Like, come on, who comes up with that stuff on the fly? Like, what? Pulling your triggers on your trigger? Like that to me was just so like, I'm like, okay, Chris, you coming on? It's gonna be good. So like, we're gonna dive into this conversation and know that this is an open conversation. So if you guys know this, if you guys want to ask questions, this is a platform for you to ask questions. We don't argue, but you can ask questions. Baby, put them glasses on. You put them on. It's all right.
They're like, I bent them. Oh well.
It looks good. I love your glasses.
Thank you, love.
I love it. Listen, I'm so like, when I tell you this is a needed conversation, like sometimes as people, we don't even know that we have existing triggers. Like we really be thinking like we okay and we moved on, or traumas, like we negate our traumas and we don't realize that trauma does it creates an existence of triggers, and we have to be aware of that. We have to be aware of that. So people, ask your questions. You have Christopher D. Weaver on, you have me. And if you don't know what to do when it comes to your triggers or how to identify it, there is no harm in answering questions. This is an open platform. So, Chris, what do you define triggers as? Like, what's your definition?
Okay, so I wrote some notes, so y'all excuse me for reading, but also I wanted to have kind of an outline for this conversation because it's very important to have language to what you're addressing, especially a trigger.
Right.
And especially for people of color, because since we were brought here, our language for so many different things, emotional well-being, spirituality, autonomy, all those things were totally redefined, wiped away, taken, whatever. So I really want to make sure that people of color understand that they need to be able to have language to put to trigger. So just looking at the definitions, knowing what I know, combining my thoughts, a specific event that starts a process or that causes a particular outcome is one of the definitions of a trigger. Also, it can be a strong emotional reaction of fear or worry because someone is made to remember something bad that has happened in the past.
Say that last one more time. That's it.
A strong emotional reaction of fear or worry because someone is made to remember something bad that has happened in the past. And a trigger synonym is a stressor.
Yeah.
So there's some connecting points here. These glasses being bent get on my nerves. It's going to be some cross points here. We might have to have a part 2, Leah. So, but we're going to need to identify stressors so that you can identify the triggers and then dig the root out.
Ooh, that's good. So, listen, people who come in for trauma, because we have to put this in real life situations, right?
Yes, definitely. I made a list of stuff too. Go ahead.
What would you call a stressor? We know what stress is. Like, it could be a person, it could be a thing, it could be a job, it could be anything. So when a person comes upon the stressor or the stress, sometimes we could misquote stress as triggers, but it could be also just a stress moment. How can you identify the two? How can you differentiate the two from a moment and a pre-existing, I guess,
trigger from the past? Yeah. So that's a great question. I'm going to say from life experiences and then talking to other people that work in the field, because I'm a clinical research project manager at work. So, one of the things, let's talk about life experiences, because this is a real conversation.
Yeah.
It's going to be all clinical and
no,
but I used to work for a major pharmacy chain, and I had a boss that triggered me because she couldn't deal with her own triggers and her own stress. So what she would do is scapegoat everything and throw it off on everybody. So when people are not accountable for what they're supposed to do, what they're doing, what they have done, that can trigger most anybody. Yeah. So, and for me, it wasn't always a moment. It was a series of moments.
Right.
And also, it was an imbalance. Like, some days she'd be fine, and other days you come in like, hey, good morning. And now that's a moment where you're like, okay, today I got this person.
Right.
Tomorrow, what is it going to be? And this is also part of the conversation, like pulling the trigger. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to? So in that moment, you have to think quick on your feet. You might just be like, oh, good morning, or you be like, well, how are you today? It depends on what you want to get out of that moment, and also thinking about what you deserve. Because if you're not in the mood to deal with somebody that's not in the mood themselves, just say good morning out of human courtesy and keep it moving.
Yeah. And I think it's good. Like, I think what's safe to say, like, the moment somebody get on your nerves, you feel yourself about to respond.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to realize, like, check yourself. Hey, not saying you got to do a deep evaluation. Ain't nobody telling you to do that. But you gotta think about how you're going to react. Is my reaction warranted right now? Is it needed? Because is it needed? And the thing is if I react this way, is it going to make things better or worse? Like, there should be a process before, and it kind of takes away what trigger means. But when the thing is that we respond out of triggers, it's what you do after. Okay, is what you do, because you can't proactively. Let's talk about the beginning stages of triggers, and you coming to the terms of it. You can't proactively, like, for me, I couldn't proactively tell you how I'm going to respond, because it defeats the word of a trigger. Okay, so to me, my triggers would be very irresponsive. Like, it would be just everywhere. Like, I will be triggered by things and I respond and don't even know why. And so I had to take a moment. I had to take a real moment with this, which I love with, the problem with triggers is that it evokes an extreme response to a situation. Usually once we're triggered, we don't have control. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. We have no control. And the thing is that we don't realize that response, 9 times out of 10, it's like hell on earth. Like, that response is going to make a person, almost go in a corner, especially who you're responding to, because that person doesn't know where it's coming from, especially if you haven't communicated a trigger. Sometimes we don't even know how to communicate a trigger. It just happens. And I know for me, I'm being real with y'all. There was a point in our relationship, and this is me, and I have to wear this for sure. And there was a point in my relationship where I would get triggered by other relationships. And when I say, please understand what I'm saying. If I felt like I saw something I liked, and I'm like, but babe, why you don't do this? Okay, Elena, where's that coming from? Why are you feeling this way? Is it a place where you wanted it, or what like, is she doing it, or is do you want more of it? See, I had to realize, okay, hey, and this is just one of the many examples. I had to realize I felt some type of way, not because she wasn't doing it. It was because I saw something, it was deeper for me. I didn't get that attention when I was younger. So that overload of love, I wanted it. But I had to realize that's not my partner's job to be like that with me. It's not her job. And so I had to realize that those triggers came from childhood, of the overload of attention. I want. And I began to put an unnecessary expectation on my mate. When my mate is like, girl, I love on you. I hug you. Like, what? You have to dig deeper. And I had to dig deeper. I'm like, okay, this stems from neglect. This stems from, I had to literally go to a place. This is what it stems from. And it's unfair. And so, and that's just something slight. But even with my anger, I would have triggered moments where I'm like, where did that come from? Mm-hmm. Especially people belittling me or making me feel like I'm not good enough. I had to realize when I came out and I responded to you, oh baby, I'm coming out the gusto. I'm gonna prove myself. I'm gonna show you how I'm my worth. And it came from a place of not knowing or being aware of where it came from. It came from that. And I had to realize, because my parents didn't show me a lot of attention, I felt like I had to damn near fight to prove myself in the marketplace, whatever it may be. And so that was just another way of that anger of in the marketplace. I'm gonna prove myself. I'm gonna show you who I am. Mm-hmm. Not knowing that came from a place where I wasn't being validated as a child. Mm-hmm. That I'm good, that I'm okay, that I'm better, I can do. And if I was validated, I wouldn't go into a setting trying to force, like, demand and assert myself. And so, and that was even in friends. It takes a deeper awareness and understanding of ourselves. Absolutely.
And also understanding, to your point, Leah, and Beaver's point, is that part of the definition said you can be out of control, you can whatever, but as you do the work, the trigger diminishes, or the intensity may not be as intense as it was before. Sometimes they can just go away. And I want to say very transparently on Mirror Talks that as a childhood sexual abuse survivor, growing up in a small town, and the person that molested me repeatedly is well known, and I've never publicly said the person's name, but I still have triggers because I'm friends with their family and children on Facebook. Wow. And then when I go home for Christmas, I'm always hoping to never run into them. But as I've gotten older and did the work on myself, even running into them or seeing them, I'm just like, hi. Because I had to learn to be responding to, again, the awareness. My awareness then, when it happened to me as a child, as opposed to the 51-year-old version of me, is totally two different levels. Wow. Understanding what did not and what was belonged to me. What belonged to me was my innocence. Yeah. What was taken away, innocence. But I didn't ask for that. And you know, now the the healed version of me, because you got to talk to yourself too.
Come on.
When you're going through triggers, you may not have anybody around you at the moment. You have to talk yourself through certain things like, I gotta breathe. What can I control in this moment to make sure that I don't go to jail for homicide? Make sure that I don't harm myself or continue to do things for myself. So that's the beauty of understanding what a trigger is, because it doesn't have to be the narrative of your life. You can identify the story to thank you, Biba. You can identify the story of what happened, and then the narration can change. Yes, that's what happened in 1984. I think it was the year. But now it's the year 2022, and I'm fabulous.
Yeah, yes, you are, and you did the work. That's like that's the thing. But we have to know that there's a problem before
you have to know.
That's the thing. People do not know there's a problem. Like I am beyond people not being self-aware.
Me too.
Like it's and I'm beyond that. I don't understand, and this is me. And it could be my logic. I don't know. But if you've heard something multiple times from different people, that should be an awareness of, I need to begin to fix myself. There is something in me that I need to begin to kind of reevaluate.
But see, but now you're making an indelible relationship to said trigger by hoping that this person is going to change.
Yeah.
That person that did the stuff to me did it to a cousin of mine and other people I know. I'm pretty sure if they're able to still do it even in their very late age, well, you know, God can do anything.
But let's live in reality.
But reality is the chances are slim. I'm just looking on the outside, from the outside looking at, I'm pretty sure that this person still hasn't changed. And it scares me because now they have grandchildren and other people, and I worry. But you have to make sure that you don't keep a relationship with that trigger like that, because that trigger, that stressor that's attached to that person. Yeah. You're not accountable for that. Yeah. You're not accountable for that.
It makes you aware that there is something buried deep that needs attention from you. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's the point. That's the purpose of a trigger. That is literally the purpose of a trigger. But we live in a society that, and I have to be careful how I say this. We live in a time where we're normalizing. We're normalizing just being okay with how we are. And that's a problem.
And excusing others for how they are.
That's a problem, because why are you okay and content with not growing in friendships? Why are you content and okay with not making your relationship better? Oh, they just know how I am. They gonna get used to it. They know how it is. Why are you content? This does not make sense to me. How are you okay? Is it because the work is too hard? Is it hard for you to see when you look at yourself, you are not as good as you thought you were? Because that's the truth. It's hard to look in a mirror. When you look, I can't talk to nobody who ain't looking in no mirror. Baby, we're not even on the same vibration. Feel me?
Right.
We're not even on the same vibration, because you don't even have the ability, and I'm going to say ability, to look within. I can't. What I'm gonna talk to you for? What, like, I don't see the purpose, because when you've never been in a place where you gotta look at yourself, and I mean look at yourself. Take a deep look of, what it is, like what's here ain't cute. Like and this mirror talk, so I'm gonna be very transparent. I'm gonna be honest, I thought at a point I was really I was really, oh, I'm good. I'm fine how I'm talking. I'm good how I deal with people. I'm good. I'm the best thing. At a point, I got to a little cocky in my relationship. I was like, baby, I'm the best thing. But then I was like, no, this not making sense. The fruit of being the best it's not given. It's not given. If I was giving healthiness, my relationship would reflect it. If I'm giving working on me, my relationship, my friendships will look it. My fruits didn't bear. My fruit, didn't bear. It wasn't there. So I had to be real with myself and be like, girl, you are not as that to me is humbling. That to me is more humbling than somebody telling me, when you could look at yourself and say, bitch, you a little dirty, okay? You thought you had it together, but you really don't. And that takes a different level of accountability, awareness, and responsibility. And it's hard to deal with people who don't have those three things. If you're not aware of what you're doing and aware of how your actions impact people, at some point in life, it's hard. It's hard. Now, do I believe in grace?
Yes.
I do believe in grace. I'm going to tell you this. I believe in grace. But you got 2 times with me. Maybe. Once, okay. 2, all right. 2, all right. Now 3, we done, okay? Because at some point you have to be aware, and it is our job when people have triggers in our people, and it's within too. But let's talk about people outside in our circle who are dealing with triggers. How do you deal with them? Because I just told you, my patience, baby, my patience. I got real boundaries over here.
How do I deal with them?
I got boundaries.
And you should have. I made a list of scenarios of things we need to talk about, different triggers.
Okay.
But how do I deal with them? I've had to learn to give myself grace. I was not good with that. One of the things that happens, the residue of survivors of child sexual abuse, they go into servitude mode, and we also think we just deserve whatever we get. And whether it's good or bad. It wasn't until I was in my 40s. I'm now 51.
Looking good.
But it wasn't until my 40s where I really realized I can't live like this anymore, because you will start to speak things and manifest the worst over your life if you think you deserve whatever you're supposed to get. And that's not how life is supposed to be. Karma's karma, God is God, yes, but there's a manifesting power that lives inside of us. So when it comes to extending grace to yourself, once you take that off of your eyes of looking through those lenses, and you look at other people, the boundaries will automatically come into place, because you're not going to take a whole bunch of shenanigans from people. Because you don't have the patience for it. You can love them in grace, meaning I love you, but this isn't working for me anymore. And that goes back to my job scenario. It was nice to be there, but slavery was abolished when? And you
over it.
And I had to tell myself that. I was like, just because I need a job and have to pay bills, that means I have to be treated any kind of way. So when you start detaching and delayering what these triggers look like, and then the boundaries start to come into place for your mental, your physical, emotional, spiritual, then dealing with these outside people, it becomes easier. Because one of the things that happens with time, when you said extended versus in the moment, your timing and your precision of your thoughts get sharper.
That's
like
true.
I used to sit up and be like, I don't know whether or not I should. I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, I may 10-15 minutes be like, and be like, okay, this is not it, or you know what, God, I want to do this. As before, it was so laborious to try to make a decision that will bring joy to my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's I like that. And I think sometimes dealing with trauma, you have to realize that when you're dealing with trauma, you're any type of trauma, I think it's just a safe ground to just have this just as a mental note. When you're dealing with trauma, you're gonna have triggers.
Period.
There is no exception. There is no I'm okay and I'm just doing life. No, you're gonna have triggers. Like if you went through any mental, sexual, emotional abuse, if you went through any oh God, what else?
Hey Michael.
Michael. Hey.
My Grio.
Oh. If you go through anything traumatizing, and traumatizing as in something that is a stressor, something that causes hurt, pain, it is, example, if I got in a car accident, God forbid, knock on wood, if I was to get in one, do you think I'm gonna be more apt to get in a car again? I'm gonna be nervous. I'm gonna be scared.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be scared. So knowing that mentally I have that because I just experienced something life-changing, life-threatening. Do you really think I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's drive across the country 9 hours after I just got in a wreck? No, I'm gonna take a moment. Naturally, we will be fearful to get in another car if we got in a bad wreck. We will naturally be fearful. So with our emotions, we have to do the same thing. We gotta be cautious when we experience something like that and begin to unpack that thing and deal with it. And that's what we don't do. We think with emotions we could just jump back in it. We think we could just go on through life and do life. We think we can really do that. No, we can't. We can't. We have to give time for those things. We have to give moments for those. We have to respect that moment of I just found something out about myself. I am not who I thought I was. And how do I proceed? So that means getting you a good friend group. Because some of y'all friends, let's talk about this. Y'all can't even address y'all triggers around y'all friends because some of y'all friends ain't really friends. Because if your friends was friends, they'll tell you, sis, I need you to get right. I'm noticing something.
Or how can I help you?
Or
not even help. How can I support you? Because you have to be very clear about support versus help. Because some people's help is they wanna do it for you.
Yeah.
And then some people just want to tell you what to do and then leave you to do it. Of course, the work is up to you.
Right.
But checking in and to Michael's would stop denial, the feeling of denial, and stop self-medicating. So you got to check in with your friends and have real conversations, like you said. Like, I see this, like you said, I see this. What can I do to help you be the better version of yourself? And you don't just want to just jump in and free fall and hope and land for the best.
Yeah. You can't do that. You can't just expect, I'm just gonna just deal with this when I'm not even gonna address it. It's gonna be right. It's gonna come. Guess what? When you don't deal with triggers, and and I have to talk on the topic. I'm sorry, something got in my view. I have to talk on the topic when you said your abuser. We have to realize, and this is not. Please know, he is very aware of what he did.
Oh yeah.
He is it's not the first time because we have to know about the statistics when it comes to sexual abuse. And I think as Black people, we do ourselves a disservice when we don't know the statistics. When someone has offended, or let me not say offended, invade our innocence and take that, it has happened at least, statistics say, in Black families at least 2 generations prior.
Definitely.
At least. That's what the statistics say. Y'all can fact check me. Y'all can look it up. Look it up. had, like, literally, it has happened minimum 2 generations prior. So 9 times out of 10, 99.9%, it has happened to them in some way.
It happened to him. He mentioned it.
Yeah. And I have to be honest and say, when I was molested by a family member, and that's gonna be a whole segment. Cause that, baby, that's a whole segment.
We can come back.
Huh?
I'll come back for that.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. And names, I don't care. I'm telling you. Because what we're not gonna do is normalize it. Normalize keeping names under wraps because we trying to save face. I mean, you don't have to. But for me, I come to find out with my offender, who is a family member, and I'm talking about a family member. I'm talking about immediate, y'all. Family member. It wasn't the first time he did it. One, he had did it. He has done it many times within the community. And come to find out that there was a neighbor, he molested the daughter of this neighbor. And because they all came from nothing, and all I have is my neighbor, and I'm not gonna say anything because I need them.
Excuse me.
Boy, our allergies is stacking up.
I
need them in some capacity. And so, come to find out, the neighbor didn't speak about it because it happened to her daughter. She did not speak on it. She, let it go by. But come to find out, she didn't say anything because the husband at the time, she knew that her husband would have killed my family member. She knew without a doubt. And now when it came out that my family member did it again, and not just to me, but to my sister as well, there was a different level of guilt. And so what I'm saying to, So what I'm saying to you guys, people who've molested you, hurt you in that capacity, do not stay quiet. I understand it may look bad right there. It feels like the odds, like you have no options, but you do have options.
You do.
You really do. But because we put a limit on ourselves and we don't try to find out more information, because had she maybe go to the courts and find out more information, she would have been able to move differently. However, people were fearful in that time. It's a small community. People get back, people, I saw such and such go into the police offices. I don't come from a big town, so small talk get around big, okay?
Same here.
So when I say that to say, people who've committed triggers or have done something to you, it has been done at least 2 generations. So I had to realize, and this is just being transparent, both my wife and I have triggers. I know what to do and what to say now. Not everybody, in a relationship, it takes time. I'm not going to say you're going to know within a year. Hell no. You're not going to know. It's going to take time. Shoot, listen, we just now got to the point. Oops, I didn't mean to. Just playing around. Oops, sorry. I'm so sorry.
And how long have y'all been together?
We've been together almost 6 years.
See?
Almost 6 years. April will be 6 years. Being
perpetual development, perpetual work.
But I'm going to tell y'all, it took us seeing each other in ugly moments.
Yes.
Exploding in those triggers.
Yes.
To identify those triggers.
Yes.
I was not able to. She could have not told me nothing if I didn't explode. She could. I would have been like, you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it took us being in those moments. And I had to be honest with myself. When she came to me, first of all, I had to be, this is the person I do life with. So I couldn't sit right here and be like, no, it ain't. You don't know nothing. You don't know me. I've been with you almost 6 years. You don't know me? Okay. Because that was my pride. You don't know me. You think you do, but you don't. And so when people, and I say this, when friends, family brings something to your attention, listen. Just listen. Now, sometimes I think family and friends exaggerate, yes. But when it comes to things that, just know for a fact that when people bring stuff to you, it has happened more than once.
And also, if you love and respect and
Yes.
trust that person,
Yes.
because see, that also affects how you navigate the trigger or whatever what they're bringing to you. Now, I have some family members, they can tell me that it's raining Skittles and I'm going back to bed because they're just full of foolishness.
Yeah.
But then I have some family members that be like, yo, like da 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 da, and I'll be like, okay. Because if they love it, because the way they're going to bring it to you, you know, something will resonate in your spirit and be like, conviction, whatever. I mean, we ain't got to get cold. Whatever you feel, whatever that's pulling on your heartstring, you're going to know they're being honest with you, especially if you love and respect them.
But some people can't even take that. I gotta be honest. Some people ain't even to the point, and I'm gonna talk about it. I'm just saying, I at some point I'm gonna just stop being so guarded. But when I get a lawyer, I start using names. Okay, because cease and desist is real.
I'm waiting for this person to drop dead so I can go ahead and be like, because the only reason why I've not said their name because of my mother asking me not to.
Oh no! Oh! I know. Let me tell you. I told my mother, I love my mother, respect, but what you can't do is tell me what I'm gonna do when it ain't happened to you. This is me. We two different generations. We have to, know that. So I respect your stance. But what you ain't gonna tell me to do is hush my mouth or don't say when it ain't happening to you. And when I told you and what you do. What did you do?
Same here.
And I'm not saying my mother didn't do anything, but there was a more complicated situation, and my parents, and I have to say it this way until I do the series, the series that my father had a lot of trauma dealing with this person, this family member, and when it was brought to him, I had to realize that he's a victim too. Not saying it happened to him. That's not what I'm saying, because I don't know. He's deceased. I don't know. But my father was afraid of this person. So what could he have done? I literally, when I tell you, I saw my father shrink before my eyes.
Yeah.
As a child, addressing what happened to me. He literally shrunk. I've never seen a grown man so big shrink in my life.
And black men, definitely of their generation, did not know how to access the language, and were not given the permission to access the language or even understand where the wherewithal will come in to be like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then probably didn't even know how to tell you that he was sorry that it happened.
Man, I promise you, if I had a moment, if I just had like 4 minutes, not even 4, 3 minutes with my father, I would have said, Dad, I get it. Now, everything you did, some of it was baloney, okay? But I really I get you. How do you confront the person who hurt you, who damaged you,
right?
Who gave you the trauma, who instilled the trauma in you? How do you confront that person?
Right.
And so and that's the thing, like, and when it comes to triggers, like, again, some people ain't ready. And I know, and my dad, honestly, if he was alive, he would have been your age. And I know for a fact I wouldn't have been able to help him through that process, but I would have been a support, because I would have known he needed some help. He needed to go through and unpack this. But another thing I have to take into account, my dad was stubborn. So was he ready to realize that he had triggers too? And that's the other part. Some people Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Love you, 𝗵𝗶𝘀. I'll send you a text.
I love you, 𝗵𝗶𝘀. I have to realize some people, ain't ready. They just not ready. They just not ready to face reality. I realize a lot of people are avoidant. They'd rather just block you. They'd rather just stop talking to you when you say something that can be potentially true, that is true, than address their own inner me.
Let's talk about the navigation within the trigger of blocking, because my best friend Drew calls me the block king. But here's the thing for me about blocking.
Okay.
I block people because it decreases my triggers. Not because I'm not avoiding you or whatever, because the thing about it is, of all the work I've done in the last 10 years, I'm able to have hard conversations. I'm able to accept the truth. I'm able to be accountable. But some people, if I see them sitting on my phone, it's going to trigger me to go off in just little rounds, like a machine gun, of stuff that's not necessary.
Okay, so now I have. Can I ask questions?
Sure, that's why we're here.
So, does this person, before you block them, have you had conversations? Do they know that they have done something? Have you communicated?
Yes, definitely. I just don't block you. Oh. I may block frivolous people. Like, you be like somebody that you might have been on a date with, and you like, child, bye. Like a one and done. But people that may have meant something to me. For example, I had a really, really good friend, and we made like a pact during the pandemic to try to hang out and do stuff. And then she never kept her end of the bargain. And then I introduced her to a major gig, and she ghosted the director, and she started ghosting me. And then I called her out on it. And ever since then, she started speaking to me.
But the thing is, you addressed it. So at that point, it's the fact, it's the people who don't. The people who just block you because you hurt their feelings, or you say
Oh no, I'm not gonna
that to me, that gets me. It's the blockers who you block because somebody said something that you don't agree, like you don't like, and you don't communicate. You got issues. You got real triggers. You got real deep rooted issues that you got to deal with. That got nothing to do with me. And people like that, you got to realize there's a different devil. It's a different type of battle. It's a different type of battle. It's a different type of battle. And
it really is.
In that person who you who you block, honestly, Michael said you saw her demon and she couldn't handle your light. Okay.
Thank you, babe.
Oh. Listen, when I tell you, people like that, they just have no integrity. I'm just gonna be honest. They just don't. They say things, and then they really don't hold up to it instead of just communicating. And that's what makes you not have integrity. When you not.
Let me tell you about her response. Her response was, which you also have to identify, there could be, people's responses to when you confront something can also re-trigger.
Yeah.
She said, when you said that to me, it made me realize I need to do some work on myself, so that's why I've been distant. And I'm like, so I get that you're doing work on yourself, allegedly, but how about communicate that? When you leave people in the dark and they have to create a story to try to A, give you grace, B, not be angry, C, decide whether they should not be friends, that's a lot. Just say, hey, Chris, you're right. But,
that's hard,
and I know that's a level of growth. And in her defense, it took me a while to get there myself, so I can't say like, oh, just do it, because I wasn't like that. I used to be like, you start, they don't know. That's the unhealed version of you.
So I'm gonna disagree to agree.
Okay, let's do that.
I'm gonna tell you why. I think, and this can just be because I realize that people don't owe me an explanation. Me personally,
I agree.
If my friend is going through a moment, agree to disagree, not disagree to agree. Sorry. Yeah, thank you. My wife be correcting me. She tech y'all. She gonna get me together.
Whitney.
Whitney. But I have to agree to disagree just because people don't owe me an explanation. However, and I have to realize because people don't owe me an explanation, they are available and unavailable to work through their stuff. Hence gaslighting and ghosting. They run from everyone and everything. Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that. I think people don't, like I said, people don't owe me an explanation. However, I have to realize some people aren't able to communicate when they need to distance themselves. I realize there are some friends that I've had and that will literally, when they go through stuff, they automatically distance themselves. So I know something's wrong. I know they are doing something's going. They are realizing some things that aren't sitting well with them. Now,
is that their pattern?
Yes.
See, we never had a hiccup or a bump in the road.
Oh, gotcha.
So to clarify, if that was a pattern, then I would have been like, okay. But also, I would have been like, I'm also not going to keep dealing with this.
Oh, no. Oh, I made a choice. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
That's why I say I agree to an extent. That's why I can't say I agree to disagree. But I agree in certain parts. But at some point, sis, I'm not texting you. We're not hanging out. Like, okay, yes, you can distance yourself, but I am not going to continue because it looks desperate. It looks like you can't do anything other than reach out. You see what I'm saying? So it comes to a point where I'm not going to continue to reach out to you when you're not responding. I'm just not. So
it feels very lopsided.
Yes, I'm going to leave you where you are. And obviously you don't feel there is an importance with us. I'm not of value enough for you just to, and I even got to a point with this person, send an emoji. When you going through, you ain't gonna say shit.
I agree.
Send an emoji.
I don't need much.
Exactly. At least I know you're going through what you're going through, but it's the non-communication for me. And so I realized, yes, people don't owe me anything, but when you make that decision not to communicate with me, at some point, I have to reevaluate, are you an adequate friend for me? Are you giving me what I desire in a friendship? Because whatever you're going through has obviously triggered you and you're going through something, but there is also a balance. I don't just throw my relationship away or my marriage away. When I'm triggered by something, I communicate and I go deal with it. And if I need help or assistance, hey babe, I'm in a place where I really can't get out of. What would you do?
Or let's flip let's flip the table. You've done the work. You're a healed version of yourself.
Okay. And
some of your friends are back there, and that's not a bad thing. They're back there.
Right.
They're where they're supposed to be, and you're where you're supposed to be.
Right.
And sometimes that alignment is not always going to line up. So you have to leave friends where they are.
Man, when I tell you, I've made a decision that talk is so cheap. It's so cheap. Talk is so cheap. Yeah, you want friends, but you're not maintaining a relationship. You tired of getting the same type of friends, but you doing the same type of shit. Like what? Make it make sense. You want close. You want to get closer to people, and you want to do this, but you're avoiding. What? It's not making sense. So therefore, I have to reevaluate. I need you to reevaluate what you really want. If you don't want to be bothered, don't text nobody. Don't state expectations you can't live up to. And that's just me personally. I'm coming from a place like, sit. don't say stuff you don't mean.
I agree.
The minute when you trigger, you oh gosh, you just I can't deal with people who are not communicative in this season. And
healthy.
Yes. I can't deal with people who are not healthy. And let me say this: if you're not on the journey of becoming healthy, I can deal with you.
That's what I'm saying. Healthy communication. You can communicate. Sometimes it's not very healthy.
Yeah. And if you're not on an awakening, I can't deal with you. I can't deal with you because it's the ignorance that literally ignorance really does feed your triggers.
You're so correct.
Ignorance really feeds your triggers. Yeah. And when you're not in the know,
or like you said, on the path of trying to know, because and Michael said sometimes it's hard not finding you in others, and he says that to me all the time because you can't expect people to be you.
Yeah,
that's just like you said earlier. That is an unhealthy expectation to put on anyone. Is that you expect them to be you, and that's something I'm always perpetually working on because I'm always thinking like, but if I told you that I'm not doing well right now, I'm telling you what's going on, I would hope we get the same courtesy. But also one of the things I learned when I was at Temple in undergrad, I was a social butterfly. Knew everybody
right
across campus. One of my friends nicknamed me the mayor of Philadelphia when I was living there. And I was like, okay, but when you start to work on being more authentic for you and showing up for you, and you noticing that not only the triggers, your circle of support is going to strengthen and it can change. It could increase, it could decrease. And you have to be okay with that.
It's me, myself, and my wife, and Jesus. That's my support.
And that's okay.
And listen, and that's just what it is. Because I mean, the truth is, like, I'm okay. I'm okay with the friend group shrinking. Like, I had to come, like, and we're gonna close soon, like the church says. We're closing soon.
Okay. I wanted to go over one major trigger, and then we can. Okay, go ahead.
I forgot. Go ahead.
Oh, you're talking about the friendship circle was shrinking.
Thank you. At one point, I had to realize I went through a place of like, okay, hey, am I a good friend? Do I give what I require? You know, I went through that whole phase, and maybe that's not why I don't have as many friends. But then something just smacked me, like, boom, like that, right? I said, you don't have as many friends because everyone doesn't think like you. Everyone has a different expectation of what a friendship is than you. You're not less than. You are not, you don't deserve, someone to mistreat you and neglect you in a friendship or reciprocate what you give. But you are a damn good friend. And I had to do that. Like, I had to say that to myself. You are a great friend. I check in people. You was on my mind, thought about you. Like, that's the type of friend I am. When you come up on my mind, I'm checking on you. If we talk every other week, we talk every other week. But guess what? I have a friend now, Chandra. We've gone through moments where we've had to check each other. But we've gone through moments where it's like, hey, we're okay with the way our friendship is established. But when we talk, it's meaty, it's good, it's right. it's intense, and it's all of the above. But I had to realize that just is some friendships are like that. But I'm a great friend, and I had to realize that I'm a great friend because I just am. I know that I'm rare. Like, I'm rare. I'm a rare wife. I'm a rare friend. I'm a rare breed. My mind is different than a typical 26-year-old. So I'm just rare.
I would agree.
And thanks. Yeah. But, so yeah, like, I know that. So, but go to your point.
Michael says you heal and your light becomes stronger. Your inner vibrations will check like-minded souls. These folks are going to
That's why I be having older friends. That's really why I be having older friends. And then the older friends who ain't on my level, I be like,
yeah. And to that point, like I said, the more healed you are, the more your spidey senses, your intuition, your even the way you dream, all different things, because they're lining up. Your spirit has got to line up with your mind got to body. Right now, I'm working more on my body because I've been working on my spirit. But my body be like, eat some potato chips and take a nap. But you have to realize, like, where is that coming from? Because that is attached to other stuff. But very quickly, I wanted to talk about, before we go, in the spirit of the holiday triggers. A lot of people are going home. You're going to spend time with your family. You're going to be around friends. And I know this is I wrote 6 different kind of titles, but we'll have to do that on another time. But holiday triggers. Yeah. Let's do one that you and I can relate to. We are both part of the LGBTQ+ community. Yeah. I never publicly just said that completely across Facebook, but hey, Facebook.
Hey, babe. Hey, babe.
Hey, that was my very handsome boo thing that was talking in the chat.
Yes.
Whom I love dearly. And you may be going home, and let's say they are closer to your age or my age, because different people come out at different ages. Because I've met some guys that came out in their 60s because they were married and didn't want nobody to know that they were gay. Yeah. And then as somebody that's close to your age, they may have been living off, and your family's assuming one thing and it's a totally different scenario. Right. So if you're going home for Christmas, and classic example, I used to have this one cousin who should remain nameless. Did you get married? You got any kids? You got a girlfriend? You got a wife? It started to turn into a jazz. So finally one time I just said to her, I'm never getting married. What? I'm never going to have any kids. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah.
And this is an older cousin who I love dearly, but just nosy. Yeah. And just if you're going home for the holidays, set the boundaries. Oh. If you don't, even if you don't want to come, if you don't want to pick your business, just say, my personal life is not up for discussion. Pass the potatoes, pass the peas like we used to. Pass the peas.
Listen. But I have to agree with you. Holiday triggers bring up a lot of stuff, and this is actually something that I have to hit on full-fledged, because going home for the holidays is very triggering. Like, I told me and my wife both decided this is just what it is. This is the first and the last holiday we will spend apart this Thanksgiving. And the truth is, the only reason we're spending it apart is my wife said, I don't want to go. I can't deal with your people. and that's the truth. That's her boundary. I have to respect that. And so that is the only reason. But I have to realize that I have to put a boundary up going home. I have to put a boundary that, hey, you do know, for the future, my wife will be with me everywhere, every holiday. May it be at her people, my people, but we will never be apart. We will never be separate. Like, that's not a thing. We're married. We are documents. My name is Hall. Okay? I am no longer with you. You are no longer. My life is tied to this woman over here. So I have to realize that there are triggers when you come out, that you're always going to have triggers when it comes to you coming out. Let's just be honest. May it be somebody saying something. May it be somebody mistreating you away. Or there's going to be triggers when you come out. And guess what? I'm going to tell you, if you're coming out, know that that's happening. It's going to happen. But it's what you do with it. It's how you respond to it. You set boundaries when people trigger you? My mom knows at this point. Don't you dare ask me to come a place and assume my wife ain't coming. Ain't happening. What you doing? What if somebody invited you and not my father? What would you say? You know? So let's be aware that we have holiday triggers, and with these triggers, be mindful, and let's just be real. Around the season, this is a new this season, in less spiritually, we have to be more aware of our emotions, because there is a shift with a lot that's happening as we see there is more killings. Like,
yes,
people, like, seriously, like, people who you think are for you are killing you. Literally, and rest in peace to the girl in Charlotte. I don't know her name. But she went to Cabo. Oh, no. Yeah, Cabo with some friends. And can't come out. It's a whole situation now. This like, literally, it's, y'all see it. Like, literally, look it up. But there is a heightened energy now in the atmosphere. There's a heightened. And so we have to be mindful that with that, there's a heightened emotions.
Yes.
There's a change in energy. We have to, I don't know. I am a Christian and I believe in God, but when energy shifts, there's always a heightened emotions. There's a heightened in people intensity. Like, there is people are more on edge. And so when people, this is the season literally from now up until a couple weeks ago until maybe the end of January going into February, you're gonna have those heightened emotions. So be aware, hey, my emotions need to be regulated. I need to regulate myself. And so it takes time, but also just be self-aware, aware, because emotions are real. Like, and they cause, when you misuse them, you hurt people. You can't take it. You can't take it back. You can't take it back.
And also understanding, to your point, and I had this conversation with my best friend, is that the holidays make you want to feel obligated to do so much. Feel free to create new traditions for the season,
baby.
If you don't want to go home, and you decide if you don't want to go home and you want to invite your friends over for Thanksgiving instead of sitting at home being berated about Uncle so and so and Aunt so and so, because not even about you being gay, you could be straight and still. They expect women to be married by a certain age. They expect men to be married by a certain age. It's not even always about sexual identity markers. It's just
for sure.
It's always this familial family expectations that are very unrealistic and unfair that they place on us. You're single. Why are you single in your 40s? What's wrong with you? Like, any of those things. Create new traditions that work for you.
And stop being, I'm gonna add on to your point. Stop being don't feel like you gotta be obligated. Like, you don't have to go and sit with the old people and do nothing for Thanksgiving. We do not have time. Listen, I love the old folks. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for your time on earth. Thank you for what you have put in on earth. But we're not about to sit with you. Those memories, I want to create new ones. My life is every moment, every breath, every moment in life is valuable. I am not about to sit right here and talk about what it used to be. What it used to be. No. I'm not about to sit right here another Thanksgiving and do what? Sit here and do what? We're gonna look at TV. We're gonna look at another football game. What we gonna do? Oh, grandma want to do such and such. Let's just, no, grandma. No. I'm tired. No. I don't even want to be here. No. Like, but we have to just be mindful of those. Be mindful of it. And the people who, and we're wrapping it up, I promise. But, like, my tips for tonight, be open to knowing your triggers. Be open. It may not come in the form that you would love for it to come in, or who you would love for it to come from. But if you've heard something at least twice, consider it. Consider it in deep thought. Really dig deep within yourself. Hi, Trey. Hi.
And I want to close with trigger support mechanisms. If you have a friend that you trust and they're being triggered by something, and if you have the space, that's only if you have the space.
Yeah.
Say to them, you can contact me. But when they contact you, don't tell them what to do.
Yes.
Because, listen, if you're going to tell them things to do, say, what can I do to help support you?
Yeah.
What do you need right now?
Yeah.
And if you know they got a favorite ice cream, would you let me go get your favorite ice cream?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk and I'll just sit and listen? Come over, we can sit and listen to Renaissance, or come over and we can just sit and just watch whatever. Or if you need to be by yourself, do you want me to FaceTime you?
Yeah.
Whatever. If they're comfortable with physical touch, say, would you like a hug? Can I hold your hand?
Comfort.
And the two most important things, for God's sakes, do not be judgmental. Please don't tell somebody, and that's the last thing. And they could be wrong, because I don't know what. They could be. But if the last phone call they have is with you on earth because they decided to go commit suicide because you sat there and decided to be Judge Judy and push them over the edge, as opposed to the saying something like, if it's that bad, let's go to the ER, or let's go find you somewhere where you can talk to somebody.
Yeah. And always ask your friends. That I'm going to piggyback. Ask your friends, what do you need from me right now?
Yeah.
I always give my friends options. This is how I know I am a great friend. Like, what do you need from me? Do you want me to listen? Do you want advice? Tell me where you are. And sometimes what they may ask from you, you have to judge to see if they really need that too. You know, I've been a friend where I've misspoke, or I've been too direct when a person needed me to be supportive. I've made that mistake. And so I implore you guys to take the tip that Chris said. I mean, they are really great tips. I mean, see, comfort. Ask what you need. See if you can comfort them in a way. Whatever comfort is for them. Not for you, for them. And so let's just be mindful of the triggers. Anything else you want to add, Chris?
Most importantly, extend yourself grace.
Yeah.
We're living in a time where that's almost obsolete.
Yeah.
People don't understand what that looks like. Grace looks different for us all. Grace may be that moment. If your boss is getting on your nerves and you're triggered, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to go take a coffee break.
Yeah.
And especially for millennials, y'all have created such this world where y'all be like, y'all demand grace to be given. It's daggone near in your contracts for your jobs. So take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. Extend yourself grace if you're by yourself and you're triggered and you like, ground yourself, sit on the floor, sit somewhere where you can just ground your energy. But extend yourself grace and extend other people grace that you know that need it.
Yeah, that's good.
That doesn't mean be a doormat. That doesn't mean be a punching bag. That just means like, I'm gonna go. This is a heated moment for us both.
Yeah.
And I love you, but let's talk when heads have settled. Clear heads have settled.
For sure. I agree. I agree. Well, listen, I appreciate you for coming and
thank you.
Sharing these tips and us having a conversation. And we can always do a part 2 for sure, because the thing is, I want people to take away from how to really not avoid their triggers.
I have notes upon notes.
Listen,
part 2.
Listen, yes, for sure. Like, let's not be avoidant with our triggers, man. Because guess what? It's going to keep happening. Yeah. And one day you're going to explode. And then you're going to explode on the person who's just been putting the icing on the cake. So let's just be mindful. I thank you, Chris, so much. Thank you guys for all the shares, all the likes. Listen, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. Thank you for making my platform as great as it is. It would not be a platform if you guys did not come and view and did not support and share. I thank you guys for every share, every like. I appreciate you guys. Listen, to share is free. So you guys can share. I appreciate it. I love it. Listen, we're trying to get this money, okay?
Money.
And I want each and every one of you guys to come to the top with me. So listen, when I make it, you make it. Deal. Like, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. We make it together. All right? Listen, Chris, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I thank you so much. Mirror talkers, thank you. Keep talking, okay? Keep talking. Yes. Let's keep talking. Listen, you do not fix anything if you don't talk. You gotta bring awareness to it. You gotta have the conversations. And sometimes the conversation gonna be tough, but just have the conversation and let it go from there. I love you guys. Thank you.
Pull the trigger. Pull that trigger.
Pull it. Love you guys. You guys take care.
Thank you.